Chrysler 420As.
You need to let naturally aspirated 4-cylinders die, my guy. Let them pass on in peace.
There's a bunch. They put that shit in everything.
I know they put the 420. I know.
Avengers, Eclipses, Talons.
None of those are on the road anymore.
Yeah, so the engines are just sitting there.
I'm bleeding.
What are you doing?
Stop.
Skeeters are out.
Yeah. Welcome to summer, guys. It's 100 degrees and it's humid and everything stinks. Welcome to MartiniWorks Podcast. Our last episode was awesome. We got a ton of love. We've got new people that are probably listening in, so welcome.
Hello.
To the MartiniWorks Podcast. We talk about cars, the car community, car history, car stories, our own cars, and of course things happening in the world.
Yeah.
If you guys and gals are looking for car parts, MartiniWorks.com. We're a Wisconsin-based company. It's just us folks, plus a couple others behind the scenes that make the whole thing happen. We want to see you mod your car right. So if you do need help, our team of experts can help you. We will also tell you if we think you're doing something stupid to your car, but we'll say it nicely.
Hey, bud, maybe not.
Maybe not that. Maybe this.
Sometimes we tell Alex he's doing stupid things to his car.
And I do it anyway sometimes. Yeah. It just happens. There's been a couple times where I've gone to do things and Dakota's looked at me and been like, brother.
Hey, I did it too.
Stop it.
We don't got to bring up the diverter valve spacer.
We all hold each other accountable, all right? And I appreciate that.
We try our best to hold each other accountable. Sometimes I think we all mess
Speaking of learning from your mistakes, props on you for moving your coffee cup before you knock it over.
I literally moved my left foot and it grazed it.
I heard it.
Nope, not making that mistake. Not making that mistake.
Speaking of more mistakes, how was Drift Mansion?
Drift Mansion was a blast. The actual
You want to explain what it is?
Yeah, so Drift Mansion is a massive house located in Missouri that has a 10,000 square foot shop. It's got a third mile oval track that surrounds it. It's got a tennis court. It's got a pool.
Jesus.
It's got a whole bunch of activities. It's got crazy carts. And you go out there. And this one was hosted by Grip Royal and Drift Mansion, or also known as Little Talladega. And we spent the 2 days drifting around this mansion. It's got like 10 bedrooms, a whole bunch of space. I think it's like 10,000 square feet.
Sounds fake.
Too.
Jesus.
It's
That's
huge.
insane.
Yeah.
It's
In Missouri, okay.
Yeah, and why Missouri? That sounds like some LA shit that should be on like a Netflix doc or something.
Little Talladega sounds like a Florida thing.
The craziest thing is we had one hell of a trip to get there, but as we're pulling in, there's just like a dirt road to get to it. And you literally look like if you needed to turn around, you're screwed. And everybody's bringing these huge trailers in. And so you're kind of nervous as a driver that you're going down the right road. And then you just like hang a right and it just pops up. Like it's just dirt road, bunch of trees, look to the right, huge mansion, racetrack, donuts, burnouts, smoke, like all the noise and music you could possibly imagine. And then you go 2 miles back out to the highway and it's like, welcome to Missouri.
Yeah.
We got churches.
I suppose it does. Something like that should be in the middle of fucking nowhere.
Yeah, because otherwise they're
going
to
to last.
Yep.
Yeah.
No.
The neighbors.
The track itself was incredible. Everybody at the Grip Royal team, the staff, Drift Mansion, the owner, we got to meet the owner of the actual, the place. And
Mansion Man?
Everybody was so nice.
What'd you
Who
bring?
was all there? Oh, sorry.
Sorry, yeah. Questions.
So
Excited.
no, the staff was absolutely incredible. I think hats off. A lot of people when they look at Drift Mansion, they're like, it's really expensive. It's too expensive. That's always what we hear when I post about it. It's like, oh, it's too expensive. And if you break it down, because it is an expensive adventure, right? But if you're traveling somewhere and you go to a track day and you do track day, hotel, food, lodging, all that good stuff. If you put all of that cost together to travel somewhere to drift compared to Drift Mansion, they're dang near the same price to do it all. And at the Drift Mansion, you get way more track time because there was only, I think, 23 drivers out there at the time.
That's still a good amount, but yeah.
Which meant you were waiting in line maybe a minute. I think on average I was on line maybe 45 seconds. I actually did more just like loops to cool down the car rather than just run it straight.
Yeah, at that point you have to because otherwise you're just constantly.
Yeah, running it. But no, it was fantastic. I would recommend if you're a small team or if you have a group of friends that likes to drift, maybe you're your own like grassroots drifting team and you want to pull together some funds and have a really fun weekend.
Oh, yeah.
Totally worth the trip.
Oh, yeah.
The trip down there was terrible. That sucked. That was bad.
What do you mean? It was on the 4th of July. I thought it would be great.
It wasn't. We, for those that don't know, my wife bought a 2008 Chevy C4500, big medium duty Ironhide. We were 2.5 hours away. We left early. We left Wednesday night at 10. We drove through the night. We were feeling good coming into the morning. And then our truck broke down 2.5 hours away.
Fuck!
Yeah.
You didn't put your cube in your chest, did you?
No, I didn't yell Autobots roll out when we left Starbucks, and I think that was the problem.
You pissed it off.
Yeah.
The Decepticons!
I'm done.
So that was a huge hurdle on the 4th of July because turns out nobody's working.
Weird.
That's like the one day our country is like everybody gets off.
Like, that sucks, bud. It's the 4th.
If you want to start a business, be open on the 4th. You'll make a lot of money.
4th of July towing company would go really hard.
Maybe that's a good idea.
So it took a long time. We had 15, 20 calls we had to make. AAA was actually the one to help us. We had to separate the trailer from the truck, and then we had to separate the car from the trailer because they wouldn't trailer the trailer with the car in the inside because they didn't want the liability.
I thought AAA was like where you go if you're like an alcoholic.
That's AA.
Oh, double A. What's single A then? These are very different things.
The start of the alphabet.
Single A is what you get in school. Double A is your alcohol.
Yeah.
Triple A, you need help.
Yep.
In a different way. Quad A?
You're onto something.
You're borderline dead. You're like on your deathbed.
Yeah, like you're in the nursing home and like you're actually losing life and like quad A. Oh, we got a quad A.
Got a quad A. Go teabag him.
Anyway.
Lost the lead. Sorry.
Anyway, so it took like 15 calls. AAA ended up picking us up. The guys were very nice because they were like looking at the Glory and they didn't really understand it.
Like,
but
one guy, why does it look like a post office car?
Yeah, one guy watched drifting and he thought it was just the slickest shit. He's like, I've never seen a drift car in person in my entire life.
And you're like, well, this is a weird one.
He's like, can I see it? Like, I think he was expecting like a typical drift car.
Like a fucking Nissan.
And then I pulled down the trailer door and he's like,
oh,
what the fuck?
Oh. And I'm like, it's cooler once it's out. He's like, oh, all right. But we repacked everything into the Gloria because we made the decision we had to get down to Drift Mansion. So if that meant leaving the truck and the trailer behind, so be it. Okay. Good news, we stayed the night in this random-ass town in Missouri with like 16 people.
Nice.
Next morning, woke up, called another 20 places, found a random U-Haul place that had a 20-foot box truck that we rented, put a hitch in the back, threw the trailer back on, put the car back in the trailer. Took it to Drift Mansion. Becca was really sad, bless her heart, because she was so stoked to have that truck there, and it wasn't. Good news, it does show up literally in the next 45 minutes, so that's the good news.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Shit.
Revenge of the Fallen. Looking at it.
The Transformer jokes are fantastic.
For those that don't know, the truck that we're talking about just happens to be Ironhide in the first 3 movies, and just Dakota can't get past it.
You embedded it in my brain?
Yeah, that's all I've heard.
Okay, so who is all at Drift Mansion? Because it wasn't just you there.
No, that would be weird, but probably a little fun.
That'd be kind of cool.
Pretty sick.
So it was a good group of people that were up there. Evan Shanks was there.
Oh, hell
he
yeah.
brought his 370Z. Cho was there.
Oh.
So he was there.
That guy's got a lot of energy.
What was he driving?
Lot of energy.
Yeah, what did he drift?
He borrowed a Nissan 350Z from one of his partners.
Okay. I was gonna say, damn, did he finish that car?
I can't remember too.
No. I bless Cho's soul, but like, dude,
anyone with an RB does not finish
I know.
their car.
No. And like I said, bless his soul. The mysteries of TikTok and making content, dude, like those that are in it, no. When I saw a video of him saying that he got it to turn over 14 days before Drift Mansion and he was going to have it at Drift Mansion, I was like fuck off.
Like,
no way. I love you, Cho, but there ain't no way, dude.
Cars are pain in the asses, so there's just no way. Was Evan, I can't remember, does he have a 350 also? Or what does he?
No, the 370. Well, I think he does, but the 370 he brought, he was having a lot of fun with. He was fucking.
Dude, that would be a sick car to drift.
370s. I've been looking.
Good.
They're
Always.
They're getting good price right
That's
now.
insane.
They're a pretty good price for like the car that you get and like what they're capable of. Like they're
like drift prices. Like you're gonna go beat the fucking hell out of this car prices.
Yeah, they're like 13 grand.
What? 370Zs are 13
You could go get like a high mile 370 for like 13 grand.
I have not looked at 370s in a long time.
That's
the
what I
last
said,
time
like,
I did, they were like 30.
I know. That's what I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah, no, 370Zs are
Now
pretty
you ruined
affordable.
it.
Sorry, now they're 20
Every
grand
single
again.
person listening to this is going to go buy one. Good job.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
It's actually why I've been talking about C5 Corvettes so much. I have a minority stake in Chevrolet. All right,
Alex owns 15 C5s. He's been sitting on Marketplace for a while.
Yeah.
so.
I'll be selling those suckers for 45.
That's why we had to move out of all of our storage units.
That's good.
There's so fucking.
No, but there was
C5s.
a lot of really incredible people there that I got to meet, new faces. There were
Oh,
some
yeah.
individuals actually from Wisconsin that came up as well with some S13s.
Oh, don't you know?
They were absolutely awesome to see and hang out with. Unfortunately, I didn't have a chance to tandem. I use that term very loosely.
Yeah.
But I didn't have a chance to
Just like we
tandem with
tandem
them.
loosely. Yeah.
I got closer. I got closer this time. The cool thing about this track, the reason that the reason I have such a internal hatred sometimes for US Air is because it's so gosh darn narrow. Like if you go in and you want to test or
go-kart
try
track.
things out, if you miss it, you're in the grass. If you miss it, you're in a gutter.
Yeah.
If you miss it, you're in the trees next to the deer. There is no like way to catch it as much as something like Drift Match. At Drift Match, people are like, dude, there's so much elevation. And I'm like looking at like the little hill, and I'm like, this is easy. Let me just throw this bitch in third.
It's like going off a ski jump when I was like 8 years old. Dude, I got so high.
All right. Your first run, though, at Drift Match, the first time you went and sent it, were you nervous?
I was because I had so much more
Because
speed.
you had walls now.
Yeah.
I feel like that'd be intimidating. I haven't drifted, but like to go to a new track, and then obviously there's other people there that you
they've
kind
done this
of
They're
for
like,
all watching with the
yeah,
cameras.
Yeah, they all make media.
something stupid.
They want you to
why this
crash.
guy's
No, I'm
here.
just kidding.
I think there's always like for me personally, I think there's always a little hesitation with being a personality and then going out there and doing something when people are watching because you don't want to suck.
There is an expectation.
Yeah.
It's like, all right, he's in this position.
Yeah, and
he should know what to do.
And we talk I talk very actively. We talk very actively about the sport and what we think and our opinions. So it's like you got to be able to walk the walk.
Yeah.
you know.
At least a little bit.
Yeah. So I went out there, and the worst part is I because we were late because the truck broke down. I didn't get to the driver's meeting. I didn't know the layout.
Oh,
I didn't
God.
know anything.
Man,
and
that's
so
way worse.
Let's be honest.
So-
Alex wouldn't have made it to the driver's meeting.
Even if he was there.
the best part about this one though is I'm convinced drifters are also just naturally a little bit late because I showed up late to the driver's meeting the second day, but then they ran the driver's meeting late anyway. So I showed up at 10:15. It didn't start till 10:25. I was like, I'm early. Anyway, no. So I'm like sitting next to get onto the track, and I'm like, can you just give me a once over? And the guy's got the big cans on, and super nice guy. And he's like, yeah. All right, so you're going to want to show, when you're going on this corner, make sure you pull the e-brake. If you don't pull the e-brake, you're going to go off the track. So
You will die.
Don't do that. You hear, hey, tell him to get off the grass. So yeah, when you're doing it, and I'm like, yeah.
don't
Becker,
care.
are you taking notes? Are you taking notes? She's like, I don't hear a single thing he's saying. So
He's trying to speak to me. I know it.
so I get out there and I get lined up, and the worst thing happened. I'm a little nervous. I'm like, all right, I'll figure it out. I'll go easy into the first corner. The car in front of me goes down the hill, hangs a left, understeers like a bitch, and just goes off the track. Just completely flies
You're like,
off.
oh shit.
The barriers are like broken. The car's like the ass of the 350 is just like up like this. I think it was Cho. I think Cho went off. It was like this.
Hey, stop that.
I'm sorry. so like,
Why were you there, man?
I was just trying to illustrate, like you get like the ass up. You know what I'm saying?
Sit down.
Okay,
Sit down. Sit
sorry.
normal.
Okay, so that was obviously a very nerve-wracking thing to do. So yeah, but I did make it. Started off really slow. Becca gave me some tips actually as the passenger, which was really nice.
Which was like drive fucking faster.
Yeah, she said stop being a weenie.
Perfect.
And then she told me where my marker line should be. She's like, all the fast cars are going this way. All the slow cars are going this way. Why are you going in fast car lane? You're not fast. Go back to slow car lane, take slow car corner. So I did, and I ripped it, and it was freaking awesome.
Hell yeah.
So yeah.
How'd the Gloria do?
Like a
Holding up to
champ.
that?
like a champ. It's
the best car you own.
It's a shame because I'm probably gonna sell it.
What? Why?
It's too good.
And what? You haven't said this at all. This is new information.
Yeah,
to me.
welcome to the podcast.
Why would you sell the best car that you own?
Because it's too nice.
It's too easy.
The only logical answer because
too easy. It's not a challenge anymore.
It doesn't sit on the lift for 4 weeks. Why would you want that?
Yeah, we need more.
We don't need to talk about that.
If it works, there's no excuse to not drive it.
Yeah, Gels, let's talk about it.
About that.
I mean, that's just about ready.
Yeah, we've been saying that for a week and a half.
I have.
Also, well, yeah, but we've been doing other cool shit, secret shit, super secret shit that you guys don't know.
Sacred secrets shit are no fun.
So-
Secrets hurt someone.
So we are
fun.
So we are dropping a new series in August. It's a pretty big one that I would say we are the most excited about. It's a new build series that's going to be coming to the MartiniWorks main channel, which if you're not subscribed to, go check that out. That would mean the world. But we did spend some time earlier this week filming one of the episodes for it, and we could probably talk about at least what it was like. Maybe not the car.
So we took said car that's very dope, and we took it to the track.
Equally
and
dope.
We want to get a good, this is how the car, because we bought it bone stock, which is nice. There is no modifications done to this thing whatsoever. And we wanted to see how this car felt on the track, just the way it was. So we made a fun video challenge out of that. But then we also thought it'd be a great idea to just modify it while we're there at the track. Because nothing would ever go wrong.
It always goes perfect.
Installs always go smooth.
It was very easy.
It was super.
We could have done
not
2 cars.
Easy. We couldn't have done 2 cars. We couldn't have done one more thing. We ended on we were a little bit past the time we were supposed to.
Late.
Not much though. Not much. I was proud of us.
Yeah.
Because there's a point where first of all I thought we were fucked and we weren't going to get it done. Because we had this track to ourselves for the day, which was awesome. US Air. I don't think we got to keep that a secret.
Yeah, US Air is one of our
It's my
partners.
home.
It's one of our partners here in the good old US of A, Wisconsin. And I got to say, Michael and the team at US Air, they're incredible people. And we're so thankful for them. If you guys have never been to US Air and you're like, man, I want to go to a final bout or I want to go.
You need to go to a final bout.
I'm thinking about going to one.
Yeah,
do
do it.
US Air.
Incredible.
We're so special. We have such special tracks near us. 40 minutes away, you got Road America. 40 minutes away, we have US Air. The two best, I would argue, 2 of the best tracks you could go to for 2 different kinds of motorsports. Anyway, continue.
US Air is really dope. I just want to double down on that. If you're even just somewhat near, if you're out of state, but you want to go to a drift show and you don't drift show, that was a weird way to say it. If you want to go to a drift event and you don't drift, you will still have an absolute blast going to a final bout. And people come from all over the country. There's some big names that show up and these guys put down and the track is so cool. The elevation is nuts. And that's why it's so fun to go there and film content and get baselines because you can, first of all, beat on the car. We're the only ones there. And second of all, US Air is a small technical track. So you're really laying into the turns. And we got a really good feel for the car and how it handled. And then, we started installing parts. And it took all 3 of us doing something finagling.
We got burnt. We pulled muscles. I'm pretty sure I'm going to lose a fingernail.
Oh, my God. Every time Gels works on something that's not in a controlled environment, he loses some piece of him.
Yeah, that's true.
Physically,
true.
an actual piece of him comes off of him. It's weird. Anyway, it was really fun. I will say when we ripped it around stock form, definitely had some.
She was sloshy.
Yeah, it left a lot
body
to be
roll.
left a lot to be loved. I would say, and I think a lot of times people when they jump into modifying their car first, they're trying to figure out what is the most flashiest thing I can do to make it look like it's mine. Totally hear you. However, fuck that. If you have an old car on stock suspension, get coilovers.
Yeah.
Easy.
Even if it has low kilometers.
Yeah. Honestly.
One thing to get good coilovers.
Yeah, get good coilovers. Because we ran out there and we ran, this is something that we're going to be working on. We got to try and figure out how to talk about it in the right way. Tires are very confusing in terms of what's a good tire, what's a cheap tire. Everybody just uses price. That's all they use, really, to decide. And they know Michelin's fantastic. Continental is great. And then if they don't understand the brand name, it's got to be shit. And so people don't buy what I would argue is like a tier 4 tire. We'll call that budget. And we threw one on. We threw on a set on the car that we tested yesterday. And I'm going to be straight honest with you guys. Because the coilovers were so good, those tires performed miraculously considering what we were doing to that car.
Well,
and so I still believe, I know that obviously tires are a touchy conversation, but like you think about, do I want tires or do I want coilovers? I would say coilovers is going to trump it at the beginning if everything else is stock and you still have okay tires on your car.
Yeah, I was gonna say definitely the tires are okay. Our tires were not okay. They were dry rotted and cracking.
They're garbage.
Yeah.
So that was a problem. But yeah, we got them swapped out and it did feel a lot better. I'm so excited for you guys to see that episode. You gotta check it out when it's gonna drop in August. So coming very soon here. And we put a lot of work on it. When you watch it too, just know, I mean, that's me, Alex Gels, and our buddy Mario that helps behind the scenes with some of the video stuff. That's just us. That's our entire team. You know, we're getting drone shots. We're doing camera chasing shots. We're out there breaking our backs trying to install this. Like there was no other outside help than the four of us.
I was driving it as if I was applying to become the Stig. So
Yeah,
Alex was driving it like he didn't care if he totaled it. That concerned me.
that's how you're supposed to drive cars, ladies and gentlemen.
I was just happy when we got it back in the trailer.
Well, we still have more tow parts coming for the car, so I didn't want to total it yet. I mean,
the
could even be a hint.
Yeah, the post car driving, the post parts driving. I was like, I'm gonna get into this even more.
Yeah.
And I got into it.
I did send it. Or what? I didn't send it as hard as you apparently, but I did send it.
Yeah, no, it's super fun. We hope you guys enjoy that. Before we jump into the next segment of the podcast, we do want to talk about our partner for the MartiniWorks podcast, which is Continental Tire. We spent a good long amount of time learning about the tires last month, particularly how they're made in the Sumter plant. And I got to say, it made me more confident than ever in terms of promoting and talking about those tires with you folks. You know that the podcast and all these other channels, they only run when people buy their car parts from MartiniWorks.com. And to do that right and to make sure we're not selling our soul while we do it, we want to make sure we bring on the right products, the right partners, and Continental is one of those partners. They have an absolute excellent range of aftermarket tires that pretty much suit any kind of car, SUV, even anything that might even be light-duty truck. But really where we focus on here on MartiniWorks, DWS06 is a bang-on tire. It's got an excellent warranty. It's got a fantastic range of tire sizes that are going to work for you. On top of that, the Extreme Contact Sport 02, another bang-on tire that works really great. And to say the tire sizing is a huge benefit, I mean it, because when we're out and looking at 15-inch tires for the wheels on some of the smaller Miata stuff, on some like Datsun Nissan stuff, there's not a whole lot out there that's like good. And Continental covers that range with some 15-inch tires, which I think is absolutely incredible. So if you're looking for Continental tires, check them out over at MartiniWorks.com. You can actually mount and package wheels and tires together on our website so that they come to your door ready to be mounted onto your car. It's very, very convenient, and you get free mounting and you get free balancing. So with that being said, thank you, Continental Tire, for being a partner of the MartiniWorks podcast. We'll see you in a second.
I'm sorry your car is still on the lift, but you left me with a rat's nest of shit to figure out, brother. What the hell?
Okay, well, first off, the rat's nest was from you installing it 3 years ago.
No. I didn't do that.
You have a misconception that me and Gels put your air right in, and we never did that.
See, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put you, Cody Banker, and Dakota in a room, and you guys can fight it. Every single time I try to figure out who the hell did it, which is actually my fault. I take accountability for not knowing who the fuck put that in my own car. But at the time, we had a lot of shit going on, okay?
No, I get it.
We had to get rid of the AccuAir system. Honestly, I have no idea what's going on with AccuAir. I don't know if they're active and supported or not.
Yeah, because like we've been like talking about it and like saying, and people are like, no, they're still out there, and it sounds like they're like still like active on their socials, but like being in the industry and selling car parts, I don't know what the hell's going on, and I feel like that says something.
I pressed the update button on the app for the ECU, and it's like, if you update this, you will no longer be able to do anything.
Yeah, that's
pretty
right.
much.
Yeah.
And then I talked to a previous employee that like worked there, and I was like, "Hey, man, is this gonna like brick my system?" He's like, "Yeah, pretty much. You're gonna have like no support after you press that."
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Nope, I'm okay." So I just left it alone. But then the system just it gets like weirder and weirder.
Like just
and
was
weirder.
degrading.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, that AccuAir was always trouble,
dude. It was such a good idea. I feel like,
Yeah.
like I remember when, like the Endo like CVT stuff like first came out. It was ultra fucking quiet. It was like super like
It's all in one.
User friendly. Yeah, it was
all
compact. I'm like,
inside the
this
tank.
is genius. All you need is just to install the tank. That's all you need, and then just run your wires. Like, that's it.
So if you guys are wondering what we're talking about, AccuAir is an air suspension company that's been around for a while. They actually started with a management system, and they were particularly fond in the lowrider scene and the sport truck scene.
Yeah.
And they managed to really make some incredible ECUs. So much so that over time, they started to figure out that they could do really, like, I would argue, technologically advanced stuff, because they were nerds first and car enthusiasts second is what I pretty much coined them as. And they developed this brand new tank for their air suspension system that was called
valve tank.
Yeah, it was called a CVT, and it had the compressor and the valve inside the tank, and it operated on these isolated, like, vibration reducing little, like, things, gimbals almost. And then you could rotate it, you could mount it anywhere, and then you just plugged it right into the tank. And I think it was still equivalent of like a 4-ish gallon tank or so on a 5-gallon. And it was rad because you cleaned up all of your compressors. You
clean.
quieted up the system so much. But the problem is all of that inside the tank was just too much to be reliable, I guess.
Yeah.
And over time they failed and they were expensive. They were really expensive. Even selling, I have a 5-gallon that I've never used. Like, out on eBay, they're going for like $900.
I bet. Yeah.
Yeah, which is just wild.
I bet. Yeah. No, like I said, super cool concept, and I absolutely loved it. We installed a few of them actually. But yeah, just unfortunately over time, I think if something were to like malfunction, which it seemed like it did, you're kind of shit out of luck because you have to open up that entire fucking system then, versus just like, oh, my compressor went out. I'm just swap out the compressor, or the manifold, like one of the valves got like stuck open or something like that. So now, dude, it really
looked good
weird.
on paper.
It looked really good on paper, and it looked beautiful.
And it
in
was
real life.
beautiful, and it is a cool system.
But yeah, so I remember that's what we originally had in there, and then when you ran into that issue, they're like, well, we don't really support the compressor valve tank anymore. It was more of just the valve tank.
Yeah.
They took the compressor out of it. So then you went to different tanks with 2 external compressors that needed to be rewired because it still kept the same management. And then that got really spidered into everything. And it just blew up into this rat's nest of wiring.
Yeah, when you have
that has been a nightmare to deal with.
When you have a company that goes from saying, hey, here's how you repair a product, to, hey, replace this product with a lesser product, you know you're in trouble. And that's essentially what happened. They're like, hey, we have the CVT. We're not really going to support it that much anymore. We'll send you one. Because AccuAir did send me a lot of this stuff for free. And they're awesome people.
I was gonna say they work well with you.
And but the thing is like, that's not the case for everyone. Like, not everyone's just going to get a free
compressor,
VT.
new tanks.
Yeah. So it's like, that got really expensive really quick. Airlift is somebody who we've had, I think, really highs with. I think we fought with them a little bit every once in a while too, just trying to figure out how do we package this into a kit. But Airlift's been doing incredible over the past couple of years. Absolutely insane. They sell kits.
They've been
we have the
super
kit.
consistent.
Yeah, we have the kits actually on MartiniWorks.com, so you can actually buy the kit from us, and it comes with everything you need to install it on your car, which I think is pretty rad. But that's what we're throwing in the Ferrari. This is the last-ditch effort.
I ran Airlift for years and years on multiple cars. I've never had an issue.
Yeah. I'm excited for this thing to be on Airlift. I think it's going to resolve a bunch of issues that we've been having with it. We ran all new lines and stuff too, just kind of refreshing everything. So I'm excited to get this done. It's just been doing this in the front of a Ferrari as well, that you're also trying to cut like a massive hole in the front of to make room for that.
Also, it didn't help that you
Very
have
limited
a water trap in a system where the tank and all the valves are inside.
There's a water trap now.
Now there is, but there wasn't. And
I know.
it was like, oh, why won't this corner? I guarantee it was shoving so much water through those fucking lines.
It was
so bad for
it
you.
was technically
that
a hydro.
previous air suspension system was such a shit show in there. That was bad. It was fucking bad. It was ratchet strapped to the front.
Yeah, it was.
You did
Now
do
it's
that.
better. That I did because I had no other choice. You're like, I need to get
Now
this
he's
down to
starting to
Tennessee.
learn.
I think that was like kind of just the ongoing story with that. It's like, we got to get it figured out. We have no other choice. Fucking ratchet strap it.
I will say
And
this.
it worked.
And it worked.
better than it did before.
I will say, if you guys are really like getting on the fence of trying a new, for us, a lot of what we had in the front of that car was new. The CVT system was new. Acura's new E-Level Plus system was brand new. Like everything from Acura when we first installed it in the car was less than like 6 months old.
Yeah.
Some of it was
You were
even
like
like
the
pre-production.
first,
I was one of the first people
Which
running
makes
E-Level
it
Plus.
really difficult for a guy like me who really has no fucking clue what they're doing to do.
And then, I think it got progressively worse and worse and worse. So I do think it's going to be in the best position now that it ever has been.
Yes.
Because
agree.
if it does not work, if the airlift doesn't really suit our needs, we're going to coilovers.
I honestly think this car should just be on coilovers. I'm an air guy. I support air. I think air, but I think there's some platforms and some cars that are used for certain. This car, I truly think should just be on coilovers. But the air will be nice because you do load it on the trailer and stuff quite a bit and all that.
Yeah, it'd
so
be a shame
Also
if
the-
someone like were to sabotage
Plus,
it
I think
just
you
to
should-
fail just to go on the coilovers. or
you
something.
should have a bagged car and coilover. Like you have multiple cars, different stuff. It's nice so that way you can talk about it. Now we know these experiences, and I wouldn't get Acura.
Yeah.
I will
I
say
can confidently say that.
when I get the next prancing Porsche car at some point in my life,
yo.
the next one
Oh.
will be coilovers for sure. I think like that'll
Proud
be
of
the
you.
next one.
Proud of you.
Yeah. With that being said, there is some new news out in the community landscape. Obviously,
what?
well, like over the past month, obviously the donut thing blew up, and then they posted a video saying, or they posted a podcast saying, you know, like we're still here and we're good with them, and there was a lot of like side eye action in it that my brain just couldn't get away from. Just like the way they were talking about it felt very like double sided. I love Nolan. I love everybody at Donut. All of those guys, those that are there and not there and kind of there till the end of the year, they're all incredible people. Definitely some weird stuff going on in the background. But then they made a video talking about like ranking Facebook Marketplace cars.
Oh, yeah, that was
and they got slammed.
Yeah, it was a bad timing for that. That was
Yeah, Collector Car Feed, I
Yeah.
believe, is a channel that did that, and yeah, they're getting steamrolled right now, at least on that specific food. But
Bro went out and
I
made
also
like a
wasn't.
song.
I wasn't very thrilled to after all that. Admittedly, I enjoy the donut guys too. I've had the pleasure of interviewing them, talking to them, meeting them in person, and they are some of the kindest people. So let me say that,
Especially considering like they're in California.
Yeah.
Like they're
Well,
like they're
a lot of them aren't from originally California.
I suppose that's
most of
true.
them,
Like
No one's
Dude,
from
Nolan is the most nicest guy in the entire world. So I really enjoy those guys. But I was like, everyone on the internet's making such a big stink. And like being in YouTube videos, I know how that stuff goes in the comments and all that shit. But so I was like, I'll check out myself. And then immediately I just see like, we're reviewing this SUV from China. And then I was like, what? Okay. I click on the video and they're just boasting about how good this EV China SUV is. And then it's like, this ain't Donut, dude. This ain't what they were fucking about. What is this shit? This is not why any of us ever watch Donut. So it's like, I get why people are upset because you have these longtime subscribers, and I get content needs to evolve, and you can't do the same series for the end of time. Unfortunately, I wish you could, but you can't. But they're not. That's an advertisement.
I think they suffer from that thing too, where it's like, you know, we kind of ran into it's like you produce so many videos. What the hell else is there to do? We're gonna go try this. We're gonna get really excited about it. And it's like you.
But they had it. They have the recipe, high, low, and stuff like that. And I get that.
What they're saying. The creative director, and that was the guy who I was really watching in that, podcast file. Was him because he's been there since the beginning. And I could I'm not trying to put words in anybody's mouth, but I could definitely just see it in his face when he talked about things, how he sped up, how he slowed down, how he looked away from the camera, how he and I'm like, he has an opinion on it that he's definitely not sharing, and I think he's just doing
goes
for the betterment of the group. But it's like he mentions, you know, they try videos out and some work and some don't. But I think one of my favorite videos from Donut of recent time was when they went to go explore different countries' car culture.
Yeah, that was awesome.
And I don't think that video did incredible, but I think that video could have done everything to grow Donut into different places. What I would have loved to see Donut do is if they need to expand, introduce international content. Go and get that content translated into different languages, introduce it into Mexico, introduce it over into Germany, introduce it into Japan, and do those sort of things to expand a global audience. Because I feel like what they're doing is they're tapping out the North American audience so much. And now they're stuck with, if you want more, you got to do more, because you can't create the same amount of content to get greater views. And it's like, but that international content was awesome. I watched that whole thing and I was like, this is the coolest YouTube video I have watched in a long time.
Yeah, I know. It's tough to say. Obviously, the only ones that truly know are the ones that are involved. And I think it might be a bit until we really figure out and find out the whole situation.
Where are you, James?
Where's James?
I was gonna ask that.
Put James back.
Something is weird going on with James Pumphrey, because like
Obviously, he put that message on his story.
Get back here right
He's doing
now.
stuff on Instagram, and then it's just been kind of radio silence.
he's
since.
always been a mysterious man.
Out of all of them, he is the
He is a mysterious man. He's tall, mysterious, funny. But
all.
I have no idea if he works at Donut, if he doesn't work at Donut, if he just took a position behind the scenes now. He's not in any of the content. He never wears any Donut merch. Stuff is weird. And I almost feel like they just didn't want to make an announcement of James leaving too. Again, that's just an assumption. I don't know what the fuck I'm saying, but it's weird. It's fucking weird.
If you go out on the internet, though, people are they pay attention to that stuff.
Oh yeah,
Like,
people are like fucking like FBI agents when it comes to this shit. It's
you can't hide it,
crazy.
especially when you get big. You cannot hide it because there are people who are like, on this episode, the big three posted this episode, and James was in this, and he said this, and then when they made this comment at 26 minutes and 41 seconds, Nolan looked up at James, who was behind the scenes, but then the following week they changed the back, and it's a novel.
Yeah.
I'm like,
It's like those people like diving too deep into like the Disney like universe of like connectivity stuff, and they're like, oh, well, this video and this, and it's like it feels like the same, and it's like, I know it's interesting. It's got all of our attention. It's all just theory until something comes out.
if you want to support the automotive community growing in the right way, the negativity around Donut, temporarily, I think is one thing. I think they're trying their best, and I think there's really good people there that are trying to figure it out, and they're going to try and put out this fire and make something good out of it. And I applaud them for giving it their best shot.
Right.
I love those guys. But there are tens of thousands of automotive content creators out there that are making incredible content every day with like 400 views, 500 views.
Ain't that the truth?
Get out there and explore and try to find some new.
Dig a little. Try and find the next big YouTube channel, because they're out there.
Yeah, stop just following the biggest fucking people, and maybe go out there and type in, GR86 and filter by, uploaded in the last
newest,
month, and see what you find, and give it a shot.
Just because they're a small channel does not mean it's bad content. I've been blown away by channels with 1,000 subscribers that make million subscriber content. 100%. I'd say Squeeze 86 is 100% one of those. Gels really introduced that to me.
That's awesome.
Dude, now I watch every single one of his videos, and I get literally angry that they don't get more views. So there's channels out there that are like that, and they're all over the place.
Yeah, absolutely. With that being said, we're going to take a small break, but not before talking about our next partner. Gels?
Fortune Auto.
Try and make a jingle now.
I don't know.
It was pretty good. It wasn't that bad.
Kind of. It sounded more like a doorbell. Ding dong. Anyway, Fortune Auto is another supporter of the MartiniWorks podcast. We can't be more happy to have them on board, because we run them on pretty much majority of our cars. We all have cars on Fortune Autos in one way or another, and they perform absolutely incredible both on and off the track. They can build pretty much anything to suit your needs. If you're building a time attack car, if you want something comfortable for daily driving, if you want something for drifting, if you're going into like just some all-out full-blown motorsports and need like a pro two-way coilover, they got you there as well. So you can check out Fortune Auto at MartiniWorks.com. They got some incredible customizations. They got incredible support as well. If you need them rebuilt or even upgraded in the near future, you can do that as well. So go check it out at MartiniWorks.com.
Welcome back, where we finish up the podcast talking about the biggest things to happen in the automotive industry ever for this week and up until the next week. Breaking news! BMW back in the spotlight for being a heavy girl. Dude. The 2025 BMW M5 weighs 5,390 pounds, which is 780 pounds more than a Toyota Sienna full-size van and 925 pounds more than a Ford F-150 Super Crew pickup truck.
Where are they putting it?
I don't know.
Just
dude.
the engine
That's
or
a
what?
big
They put some
girl.
big batteries in those cars too.
That's true, yeah. Dude, it was so funny. I saw a TikTok this morning, actually. It was like everything that's lighter than the new BMW M5, and it was like vans, trucks, like SUVs, Tahoes. It's like Jesus Christ,
crazy, dude. That shit
heavy girl.
They're saying it's because of the electric motor and the V8.
I mean, that stuff does add up quite a bit.
My lord.
I bet you. Do you
Batteries.
think they would catch more hell for being a V6 with a lighter electric engine that can do more, or a heavier car with a V8 and a smaller electric engine that's less efficient?
Yeah, I think what you've said there, because like the M5s were known to have like the big engines in them, weren't they? Like that's
always.
That's like
I don't think people care
where the beef
that
is.
much about if the car performs, it performs.
If you're buying an M5,
I care when they keep repairing my roads because of heavy ass cars and trucks. Those
Okay.
folks need to pay an extra tax.
the
I
M5s
do.
are ruining our roads.
Yes, you're right. All the M5s that are running around.
That's those folks.
I think if you're concerned about the weight of the M5, just get a fucking M4 or an M3.
Yeah.
M2,
Apparently,
M1.
after Elon Musk decided to build a brand around car manufacturers, now every CEO is developing a personality around their brand. We've seen the new Ford CEO. I actually really like because he's like down to earth and he's trying to figure out
Is
why
it
people
Luke
don't like
Bryan?
electric. But the Ford Capri is already catching shade from Polestar's CEO because apparently the Ford Capri looks an awful lot like it's identical. It's identical.
The hell's
to
a
the
Ford
Polestar.
Capri?
I don't know any of the cars
Oh, that
you're
does
saying.
look identical.
All new cars look the same.
Yeah.
Yeah, he said, I knew about the U.S. production of the PS3. This came as a surprise. He posted it on his Instagram.
We're on the PS5.
This guy. All right,
Get with the times.
I got a question for you.
Okay.
Hit me.
What is your don't meet your hero moment when it comes to cars? Like, what is a car you were super excited and hyped about until you had the opportunity to drive it, and why?
I think me and Joe's might have a similar one. Trying to think if there's another one besides that real quick. Otherwise, I would say I wasn't personally impressed with the C8 at all or Challenger. Honestly, I really like Challengers, and for a while, like I always kind of dreamed of having an SRT8 Challenger. And then I drove one and I fucking hate it. I have no desire to get a Challenger now. I do not like those cars. So that was another one. So I feel bad. I'm trying to think if there's like a Japanese one or a Euro one. Those are definitely two for me that were not
I'm
great.
trying to think too, because it's like I don't have a wide variety of experience in cars.
Also, I've
Turbo first gen Talon. Would you say you were disappointed by because it wasn't naturally aspirated?
No, I love
It's too
those
good.
cars. Those cars are
It was
fucking
too good.
sick. Those cars are dope.
I rode in a Lamborghini once, and I was never a supercar guy.
Yeah,
so I didn't care. But it solidified. Like I cannot get in and out of this thing at all. It was kind of neat. Besides that, I don't.
But remember, it's like a hero car, right? It's like a car you were really
I know,
looking up
but
to.
my hero cars I like. Sorry. They're good shit. I got good taste. Sorry.
I mean, I would say, I guess there was one where I did, and I didn't end up buying it. So I guess there is that. When I was looking for a Genesis coupe for a long time, and I went and drove one. I was like, it's fun, but I think it's just because it's new.
Uh-oh.
So I'm not saying they're bad.
The
cars.
Hyundai guys
I'm
are coming for gels
I'm not saying they're
now.
bad cars. I mean, I still really wanted the car, but it was just like, oh, I thought it would have been a little more. But it was fine. It was still good.
What you got, Alex?
I take accountability for this. This is my fault. But if you
Okay.
clip it, don't put this part in it.
I'm going to clip it.
The dream car that I was underwhelmed with was the first generation Acura NSX. I drove that when I was comparing that between an E55 AMG, and the E55 AMG just walked it in like every single category I cared about. It was a million times faster. It felt cooler. It had a better interior. It sounded wicked. For some reason, I just enjoyed it way more. And so I bought the E55 AMG for $24,000 instead of the first generation NSX for $27,000.
27. That must have been a while ago that you were
Long
doing
time
that,
ago.
because
20,
you can't do that no more.
Yeah, what the
2014. 2014, I think it was. So I remember that being like, I really wanted an
Yeah.
NSX because it
I
looked
love
like a
NSX.
Ferrari.
Yeah.
That's why I wanted it. And then I drove it
great.
and I was like,
Dang, okay. That was a good one. I didn't
That's
have
all
a
I
good
got.
one. I have,
I'm sorry.
My taste is way too
I will take it back a little bit.
oh, he's retracting.
You mentioned the Eclipse. I remember I got to drive GSX because I had the GS 420A And like that Halo car was the GSX.
Right.
And in like the kind of more like stockish form, it's a super underwhelming car.
Yeah.
like you couldn't even really tell it had, besides like the noise that it would make really had like a turbo in it. It was just
poochy.
Yep, it's a 90s 90s
Four-cylinder
JDM Turbo 4. So, still love that car, but it was like I was driving, I was like, damn, this thing good. Like,
Porsche says it's impossible to bring the new 911 hybrid to the tuners for more power because of the new turbo.
what does that mean? Because of the new turbo, they can't tune it?
I guarantee them ECU crackers can get some more juice out of it.
Yeah.
So the
Why?
new
Is the turbo capped?
so there's this new turbo.
I'll just change the turbo.
The turbo has a battle pass?
The hybrid Porsche 911 has no wastegate. The new electric turbo on the Porsche 911 GTS doesn't have one. If the turbo gets too much exhaust gases, the electric motor starts working as a generator to generate more energy for the battery. In this way, the turbo pressure is controlled and all exhaust gases are always used.
What?
Bro,
There goes all the cool noises.
Bro, I see Mad Mike put a rotary in a McLaren. Someone can fucking figure out how to tune the new 911, okay?
You know, there's somebody with like a shit ton of money that's like, figure it out. Just do it. I
Maybe
don't care.
they're challenging people.
I don't think I'm ever going to have the problem of I need to tune my 911. So
That's like me having to
Don't
deal
live
with...
like that. Don't live like that. You don't know.
That's like me having to think about dealing with quicksand. It's just never going to fucking happen.
Dude, the amount
they
of
made
times.
quicksand seem like way more of an issue.
Yeah, that and fires.
Yeah, stop,
That,
drop,
like,
and roll.
Yeah. I thought
To
I
be
was,
fair, you only really need to deal with it one time. And it's
Yeah.
like...
I just have never the amount of times that like I remember as a child being like, okay, stop, drop, roll, stop, drop, roll, and I like going to my adult years, I'm like, this is gonna happen to me at least once a year.
Yeah.
Like it'd be like paying my taxes. I'm gonna start on fire
Like,
once.
where is quicksand?
I don't know.
Where does it live?
I don't know.
Where do I need to watch out for it? Because I thought it
Is
was
it real?
in the woods. I don't know.
I've never seen it.
I think it's real.
All right, okay, we're getting past that. Let's see what else do we got going on
That's
out
the
here.
911 turbo.
What?
You can't tune it. You need to watch out. It's like, well, I'm never going to have to deal with it.
Shit. I'm really going to be worried about that. Every day I wake up and I'm sad
am I
I
gonna
can't
tune
tune
my
the new
911?
911 turbo. Sorry.
There's another one. Dead.
What?
Same.
This is something that I feel like what's his name wrote as a title. Dead. The gas Porsche Boxer and Cayman.
Okay. They got that new fancy turbo on it, or what?
Yeah.
Cars being
Are they converting to EV?
So earlier this year, Porsche was forced to retire the 718 Boxer and Cayman in Europe due to new, get this, cybersecurity regulations.
What does that even mean?
What is happening?
The car being retired due to cybersecurity
The
regulations.
Porsche Boxer has a battle pass.
Could you
And
imagine?
it's getting hacked.
like how
They
nobody
stole
knows.
the
Nobody
V-Bucks.
knows what cars are collecting on you, but apparently the government does.
Eba.
Here's an idea. Maybe just don't let it fucking do that.
I think it's
Take
easier.
the fucking computer out the car and it's not going to get hacked.
Back in my day, these cars didn't run all on computers and paywalls and battle passes. I could just go to my tuner and tune it.
You just take a screwdriver and...
That's how they made it look
Just
in the movies. It's like,
yeah.
it's not
Faster.
running. Blah, 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 blah,
I mean, to be
blah,
fair,
blah.
it's not too far from...
I got some bad news.
Oh,
This
no.
news comes from the straight pipes.
Oh,
Comes from Yuri and Jacob.
what's going on?
Direct. Straight from the source.
Oh, God.
I learned this on the bus while you were napping, and you were napping just looking upward.
I do not sleep on a bus.
Apparently, in Europe, they're introducing speed limiter audio warnings on all new cars, which, when you're going above the speed limit and it knows where you are and it knows where the speed limit is, it will actually flash and make a sound notifying you that you are above the speed limit until you go back below it. This car and this design, you want to know where it's infiltrated first? That fucking commie state of California. They already have it. They already
That was
have
a
it.
wild statement.
Some harsh
They already
words.
have it. They already have it. And they're already going to implement it, which means the moment that you tick at 66 miles per hour on a 65, it's going to be bing, bing, bing.
I can't wait till it was like updated for a construction zone, and then the construction zone is gone, and then you're
Yeah.
just trying to go normal speed, but it's just chiming. there'll be a workaround. There'll be a workaround.
My mom's truck already has that.
What?
No way.
Yeah, I noticed that. It's like a 20. What is hers? Like a
It
29.
chimes at you when you're going too
Well,
fast.
it doesn't chime, but it's like I don't know if it's like a 2019. It's like a newer Ram, like 1500. And yeah, I noticed it. I was driving. It was last EAA. I was like, I had to take it up to the house to pick up something, and I was like on the highway, and it's like I was going 70 and a 65, and it's like
78.
It's like the speed limit is 65 miles an hour, and it like came up on the thing,
like, no shit, honey.
and I was like,
Or is it?
that's weird. And then like I got like like stopped or like slowed down and then like got back into it. The speed limit is
Dude,
65
hell
miles.
no.
I'm like,
I
what
feel like
the
with
fuck?
that one though, I feel like
So-
that one you could turn off, like maybe in the
Yeah,
settings or
that's
something.
yeah.
I'd
But
hope
this
at
seems
least.
like a mandate for
Yeah,
it now.
so they said that you can
Tune
turn
that
it
out.
off,
Oh, okay.
but anytime you turn the car off,
It resets.
Oh,
it.
resets.
It's like
no,
the
it has no
fucking
memory.
auto stop start
Yes.
shit. I hate that.
yeah, so it's very weird, all the tech that's coming into cars. It's making it very easy for the government to
You know what?
regulate
You know what
things.
doesn't have that? My 1991 Nissan 240S.
You want to know what else, though, that car doesn't have?
What?
A driver, because you don't drive it anywhere because you're afraid it's going to break.
Yeah.
Fix your car,
Damn.
Okay.
for Christ's sake.
Someone
For
help.
Chrysler.
I will say the most annoying ding out of any of my cars right now is
I got
the GR86.
Okay.
When we had the steering wheel thing
Oh,
disconnected.
Yeah.
It has this like speed sensor. So it didn't think, for some reason, because it was off kilter, it must have thought like the entire thing was about to blow up.
clock
So it'd be
speed,
like ding, ding, ding. Ding 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 ding. It's like, oh my god, it's so loud. You can't
fucking-
turn it down.
My FRS was like that too. It would get progressively more loud. Like
It's terrible.
It's the seatbelt alarm for
Yes.
like the airbag or whatever. Yeah, dude, they don't give a. They will. My FRS was like that. It was so aggressive. You moved like a foot without a seatbelt on. Or the worst part about it was, it has the occupancy sensor in the
Yep.
passenger seat for the airbag. I would I'm shit you not, put my backpack in a basically a two-seater car. Be like, oh, I'm going to set my
Yeah.
backpack with my laptop in it to get to
As
work.
you do.
And it would set the fucking alarm off for the occupancy
my
sensor.
God.
And it was ding, ding, ding. And I'm like, oh my fucking Christ.
That's
I literally would have to like connect my seatbelt.
Daddy, chill.
I know, I'm pissed.
Buddy, chill.
That's why I sold the fuck out of that
Yeah,
car.
he sold it immediately after that happened. He took out the passenger seat, then sold the car.
No, that would have just
Never
made it
hurt
worse.
anyone
That
else.
would have just made it
Oh,
worse.
Sorry. All right.
Fuck, sorry, you got me all wound up.
All right. Lastly,
Yeah, what do you got?
my final question to you guys. The most important thing of all.
Okay.
All right.
It's a big question.
You ready?
Is this about life?
What?
The most important question of all?
The most important question of all.
Okay. He's trying to make something up right
I am. You have
Bullshit, he's stalling.
$15,000.
I wish.
now. Fuck yes.
Yeah, let's go.
Yeah, I'm
All
going
right,
to
see
lunch.
ya. Fuck yeah, I'm rich. man.
This is amazing news. Thank you, Alex.
You have $15,000.
Okay.
So grateful.
And you have to modify.
Oh, what do you mean?
Just start over.
You have $15,000 and you have to modify it. And it has to be able to do everything you would need a car to do up here in Wisconsin. What car do you buy?
So I have to buy the car with the money and modify it with the money?
Yes.
Ooh.
Caliber SRT4, bolt-ons, wheels, tires, suspension.
Ooh, nice. I was going to go Volvo V70R.
I think
Coilovers,
honestly,
wheels,
though,
tires, intake,
15,000
exhaust.
ain't that much.
And we have to drive it all year in
Yeah,
Wisconsin?
that's why I said V70. Get the wagon.
Yeah, that's a cool one. I just went off. Every time I see a Caliber SRT4 on Marketplace, I want to buy it every time. I need to fill that gap.
What would you do?
know if I could-
Do you know?
Volvo V70R.
Oh, yeah, you said
you
that.
said-
Yeah, shit.
We've been through this.
I've already said this. I've already broke his heart. You got to spend the money.
Yeah, I thought I had money. Dang it.
What would you even do with that money?
Go to lunch right now. I'd fucking leave. I could get some Starbucks. Maybe go somewhere fancy like Arby's.
Ooh, fancy. A Galant VR4.
Like the old one?
Yeah.
Nice.
What mods?
Simple. Coilovers, wheels. Maybe like the stuff to keep a 4G63 from not blowing up.
You don't got enough money.
That's awesome. Well, if you guys enjoyed the podcast, let us know below. If you want us to talk about something specific in the industry or in the community, also drop that as well. If you're new to the podcast, we thank you so much for listening in.
Thank you.
If you're looking for car parts, MartiniWorks.com. We have now a whole bunch of new tires added to the website as well, and we have Rohana wheels as well. So if you guys are looking for some of those products, let us know. Happy to help. Thank you so much for the support and continuing to hang out with us for a little bit on this Friday.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
Or as some like to say, Friday.
No.
You can.
We can keep it Friday. We can keep it Friday. Freaky Friday.
They're making a new one.
Doesn't need.
We don't need sequels to everything.
Not even, this is just a remake, probably. They don't even.
Shrek 5 is also coming. I'm not
Shrek
joking.
5?
That's real.
There was a fourth.
I know. There's a third. I've never seen the third, fourth,
Shrek
or fifth.
3D.
But there's Shrek 5.
Why didn't they make Shrek 3D?